Welcome to the 5-Star Preps Walkthrough. Powered by Coker Rental Company. The Walkthrough delivers important pregame news, breakdowns of the week's biggest matchups, and more from the teams and players you spend your fall Friday nights cheering for.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Now, join us as our host, Jesse Smithey, and the rest of the 5-Star Preps team deliver the most comprehensive high school football coverage in East Tennessee. It's time for the 5-Star Preps Walkthrough.
Welcome in to Week 7. Hard to believe we are already past the midway point of the high school football season, the regular season that is, and you are in tune with the walkthrough here in Week 7, presented by Coker Rentals. Make sure you're checking them out up in North Knoxville for all your construction needs. That means you contractors. They have 19-foot scissor lifts that you need. They have dumpsters, pressure washers, skid steers, mulchers, excavators, loaders, so much more. RentCoker.com, RentCoker. They have been with us all season. Definitely proud to have them as a sponsor of this show. All right, so much to get to as always. Let's set the table here at the top of the show. What's on tap for tonight? Well, we're going to recap what happened in Week 6. And there was a lot to recap. A lot of rivalry games a week ago. We're going to catch you up to date on that. Surprise players from Week 6. We got that. Highlight package from Week 6. Got that. Player of the Week interview. Jarvis Dozier, Oak Ridge. You're not going to want to miss that. Stick around for that. He had a huge game against Clinton last week. We'll talk with him. We'll take a look at what's on the slate for Week 7. That rivalry week from a week ago spills over a little bit into this week. I'm probably more excited about this week in the high school schedule than I have been for any other week. That includes Week 1, the start of the season, where everybody's geeked up for football coming back. Yeah, I was excited then. This Week 7, so legit. We're going to talk about it. And then finally, to end the show, your favorite segment, the Waffle House segment, Who's Eating, predictions, look ahead, so much more. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight. Let's get going. Let's take a look back at Week 6. What happened there to start Week 6? Rivalry Thursday, Bearden versus Farragut. The Admirals came in having won 9 out of the last 10 matchups against Bearden. Hard to believe that it's gone that way. I mean, you'd think this is a tightly contested rivalry, and it has been, but Farragut has just dominated, and Bearden got the win last week. Try to put the game away there in the fourth quarter. They're up 14-7, going to kick a 42-yard field goal with Daniel Kinney, one of the area's better kickers. Probably looks like they're going to put it away there. What happens? Farragut, which had only had 5 yards of offense in the second half, blocks the field goal. Landis Davila. Landon Collins, his teammate, picks it up and, of course, returns it for a touchdown. 14-14 ball game. Bearden doesn't press the panic button. They come back later in the quarter, put together a game-winning drive led by Jason Thompson. 31 carries on the night, 137 yards. And those last 37 yards came on a 37-yard touchdown run on fourth down that put the game away. And, of course, Bearden ended up getting an interception to completely seal it there late in the game. So congratulations to Bearden. Finally got that Farragut monkey off their back. That was a Region 2 6A game. That was an important win for Bearden to clinch that win going forward. I got some big matchups coming up, including one tonight that we'll talk about more, but they needed that win to basically ensure themselves the playoff spot. Now, from here on out, Bearden can concentrate on improving its standing in those standings to possibly get a 1 or 2 seed and host a first-round playoff game in the 6A playoffs. Let's keep looking around what happened in Week 6. Oak Ridge, another rivalry game that we got to see. Oak Ridge versus Clinton. Joe Gaddis, the legendary head football coach, he returns for one night, comes out of the bullpen to take over for Derek Rang, who got suspended the week before for sideline infractions. That was kind of a Bush League ruling, but whatever. Joe Gaddis leads them to a 37-24 win. Jarvis Dozier, our player of the week, 41 carries in that game. for 205 yards and 3 touchdowns. Look, Alcoa ran one of its running backs about 10 years ago in a state championship game 50 times, and we haven't seen that many carries in this area since, until Jarvis Dozier ran 41 times in that 37-24 win over Clinton. Oak Ridge kind of dominated this series over the last 15 years. I think Clinton last won in 2009. Oak Ridge barely beat Clinton a year ago and had to fight like mad to beat them this past Friday night, but they do get the win and move into week 7 with a big game coming up against Central. Webb CAK rivalry wasn't as tightly contested as we thought it was going to be. Webb came out, scored on its first 2 plays, nearly almost scored on its first 3 plays, but just really controlled the game all night long. CAK kind of cut it close there a little bit in the first half, but Webb just too much overall. 42-12 winner over CAK. Webb should improve to 7-0 this week. They have an easy game against Brainerd. Big game coming up down the pike, though, with Boyd Buchanan, coached by Gary Rankin. They're undefeated as well. That game likely going to decide the region championship in Division II AA. Central 45-35 win over South Doyle. Kind of a sneaky good game on the schedule. Not a lot of people talked about that one because there were so many rivalry games. And look at Central, quietly 4-2 going into week 7 of the season. Big game coming up tonight against Oak Ridge. Could they announce their presence kind of with authority, as they like to say, here in week 7, kind of reintroduce themselves into the conversation when it comes to playoff contenders? We'll see this Friday night. And of course, finally, Powell versus Halls. Big time game up at Emory Road. Halls came into it 5-0. Powell came into it having won 3 games in a row. Powell's running back Connor Wheeler goes down with injury. This is a kid who goes 1,700 yards a year ago. Our 5-star prep sophomore or underclassman of the year on offense. He goes down with injury, and Powell doesn't skip a beat. Deuce Rogers, the big quarterback, 6'2", 235, rumbles for over 200 yards. You got Keyshawn Jackson wearing a number 80 jersey, taking carries out of the backfield. He goes for another 70 or 80 yards and a couple touchdowns, and Powell wins that game 34-17. We'll have much more on that game to come. An unbelievable film that you'll have to see from Sam Scott from the Battle of Emory Road. So whether you're a Powell fan or you're a Halls fan or you're a fan of some other school, you want to watch this video by Sam Scott. Just truly just a masterpiece. So we're going to catch our first break here on the walkthrough presented by Coker Rental. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we got interviews, we got surprise players, we got highlights, so much more to get to here to preview week 7 of the high school football season.
Endless hold times and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact, who is just a phone call away, doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back in. Segment 2 here of the walkthrough presented by Coker Rental. Time to talk with our player of the week, Jarvis Dozier, senior running back from Oak Ridge High School. Again, 41 carries, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oak Ridge wins 37-24 over Clinton. Congratulations to our Smith-Built Homes 5-star preps player of the week, Jarvis Dozier. Let's talk with Jarvis about this honor. First off, congratulations on being player of the week. Just what does this honor mean for you?
It means a lot. I mean, last year I'm pretty sure I got the same award against I think Carnes I was nominated, or either there or Clinton. So, but I didn't win last time. So this time coming out, played a good game against Clinton, and on top of that, I won. So it's an honor for sure.
Looking back to that game against Clinton, you ran the ball 41 times. Is that a career best or most for you?
For sure. I'm pretty sure the most I ever ran probably was like 20, 24, maybe 25. But hitting 40 is crazy. I didn't even hit 30 at one point. So hitting 40 is just something that's it's a lot. I mean, I was tired coming from McMahon. That was a hard game. I was tired within the third quarter. So I know coming in this week I was gonna be tired, but at the same time I had to push through and then win the game.
Did you know going in, like part of the game plan, that they were going to lean on you that hard?
Of course, like coming from Monday, Coach Ray was telling me how I was getting tired and stuff like that. He's entering to me. So I will make sure I stay hydrated, make sure I put that work throughout the whole week. So when Friday came, that I already knew the game plan was going to be running the ball for the most part, that I was getting tired in the fourth quarter.
How emotional was that game against Clinton? It's a big rivalry game.
It's very emotional. Clinton's always been a rivalry. Though we've been winning for the past, I think, 14 years now. It's always a battle. So we always go out trying to win and stuff like that. We always been aggressive. So it's a good game.
Looking ahead, I mean, what's next for Oak Ridge, and just kind of what are your goals coming up for the next week or two?
As a team, we're taking a week by week. We're trying to go to state, of course. So we're just gonna take it week by week. We got scheduled this week on Friday coming up. So we're excited for that game. But for personal, I'm trying to get 2K yards in the season, 20 plus touchdowns, and what's called be all state.
The 5-Star Preps Player of the Week is proudly presented by Smith Built Homes, East Tennessee's most trusted home builders since the 1950s. Smith Built dedicates themselves to producing a home that owners, their families, and neighbors can be proud of for generations to come.
Congratulations to Jarvis there. Big time game. I think we'll see his name plenty more the rest of the season. He was not a surprise player coming into this year. We knew all about his ability, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, but there were some surprise players in week 6. Who were those? Will Jones, quarterback, Maryville High School. First ever start, freshman quarterback starting at Maryville High School. We've never seen that before. 4 passing touchdowns, 13 of 15 passing, 240 yards. Unbelievable output by Will Jones in that win over Hardin Valley. Schedule gets a little tougher going forward, but that was a good starting point for Will Jones. Good learning experience, and one of his teammates was another one of our surprise players, Andrew Smith. Get this, defensive back Maryville, in a 90-second span in the third quarter, first 2 minutes of the third quarter, in a 90-second span, he has 2 pick sixes, 2 interception returns for touchdowns, 35 yards, 25 yards. We haven't seen this kind of productivity out of the Maryville secondary. Sure, they've had some interceptions here and there, but putting 14 points on the board in the first 2 minutes of the second half, that's tough for anybody to overcome, especially Hardin Valley. Maryville gets the win. Those 2 guys are surprise players. Hey, welcome back, Tayshawn Gary, running back from South Doyle. Guy's been AWOL for the last 2-3 weeks, hasn't played, hasn't been on the field, shows back up in the box score in South Doyle's loss, 45-35 to Central, but good to see him back. 20 carries, 186 yards, a touchdown, 7 catches, 77 yards. Definitely surprised to see Tay Gary back in week 6. We'll see if that can kind of propel South Doyle to some big wins should he remain on the field and with the team. Hey, Marco Allen, number 7, Austin East. If you haven't seen Marco Allen play, I suggest you do it, whether that's on Diamond Clear or you go there or your team's playing them. The more I watch this kid, the more I say, hey, colleges are missing out on this dude. And he's been balling out for a couple of years for Austin East, but I really made like a conscious effort to watch him this past Friday night. Go back and watch his film. Dude had a 85-yard touchdown catch. He had a 70-yard touchdown catch. He stars on defense. He's well put together physique frame-wise to go make the jump to college football. Marco Allen, remember that name, number 7, one of our surprise players from week 6. All right, let's put a bow on week 6 a little bit. Let's check out this mashup highlights from all of our photographers and videographers that went out this past Friday night. Check out these highlights from last week.
endless hold times, and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact who is just a phone call away doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back into the walkthrough presented by rentcoker.com. Hey, contractors out there, I know some of you are watching, or maybe some of your dads are contractors. Check them out, rentcoker.com. 19-foot scissor lifts. They have skid steers, pressure washers, dumpsters, loaders, everything you'll need for your construction project. Contractors out there, give them a shout. Rentcoker.com up there in North Knoxville. Appreciate their support of 5-Star Preps and the walkthrough here tonight. All right, finally, let's get into tonight. Week 7, big slate of games I'm super excited about. Of course, last night we had Anderson County and Clinton. You can find all the coverage for that. Photos, videos, stories, 5starpreps.com. Now is the perfect time to join. We're getting ready to get into some big-time ball games here late in the stretch run of the 2023 season as teams are securing or losing playoff spots, and you'll need to be following along 5starpreps.com. Game of the year is here. We thought it was going to be Alcoa Greenville. That game got rained out or lightninged out. And now Alcoa at West back on the schedule for the third year in a row. 2 years ago, 2021, what happened? Alcoa won in double overtime against West High School. A year later, West goes to Alcoa. Ryan Scott reaches up, gets that interception in the end zone to secure a 29-26 game for West in their first ever undefeated season. That game had so many back and forth moments. Alcoa's ahead. West is ahead. Alcoa makes big play. West answers right back. Will we get a third consecutive big-time game out of them? I think so. I absolutely think so. West has gotten better each and every week. I think surprised some people by how many players they lost to graduation and how effective they've been here in 2023, winning each and every week. What have they got? 21 game win streak going into this game. I think Alcoa has a 14-game win streak since they lost to West High School a year ago. Alcoa didn't really have to do much last week. Played against Union County. Starters got out early. They've likely been preparing for West High School for 2 or 3 weeks now. And West High School didn't have to do much a week ago either. Kind of cruised in that win over Heritage. What we don't know is, will Marshawn Bowers play? The West High School running back, senior running back, who'd put that offense on his shoulders through the first 3 or 4 weeks. He went out with an injury against Central 2 weeks ago, did not return. He did not play last week against Heritage. If he's not able to go, you got to think Alcoa has an edge there. If you don't have your senior leader, and I know West, the other guys on West team have stepped up and they've won with ease over the last couple weeks without him back there, but he's a critical member of the West secondary, the return game, and the backfield, and he's accustomed to playing in big-time games like this. They need him back, so I don't know, hands up, we'll see. So Alcoa at West is your marquee matchup of Week 7. Next up, Boo Carter, the Tennessee commitment. If you've been dying to watch Boo Carter play in person, maybe you didn't get to watch him play with Chattanooga Christian a year ago when they came to Knoxville to play against Webb. Well, here's your mulligan. Here's your second chance. Boo Carter, undefeated Bradley Central, to some, the #1 team in the state in 6A. They come to town to take on a Farragut team that is absolutely dying for a win. Farragut has to win this ball game somehow to get back into the Region 2-6 race. You got Bradley Central, Cleveland, Maryville, Bearden, all doing their thing. Farragut has to join the party somehow. They have to find a way to knock off Bradley Central. This is a critical game for the Admirals. Old school rivalry. Little east of Knoxville up in Jefferson County. Jefferson County takes on old foe Morristown West. Jefferson County has won the last 2 games in this series. They are playing their best football, really, I think, in recent years. I mean, yeah, they've had some good runs in recent seasons, but I feel like this team is more cohesive. It's more confident running the football, playing really good defense. Morristown West raised a few eyebrows a week ago where they nearly knocked off Greenville on a Tuesday night. So we'll see. This is going to be a hard-fought contest up in Dandridge. Loudon versus Kingston, not a region game, but kind of a sneaky good rivalry game. I like both of these teams and these programs. I like their head coaches, kind of hard-nosed, old-school guys. Love to run the football, love to play good defense. Loudon, though, probably throwing the ball a little bit more effectively than Kingston is. We'll see if that comes into play on Friday night. Bearden at Maryville. We talked about Region 2-6A ad nauseum tonight, but it's probably the most difficult region in the state in public schools. Bearden on the road at Maryville, both teams kind of dealing with injury situations. Jaheim Merriweather, the Purdue commitment running back from Bearden, he missed last week's game against Farragut. I think he's going to miss again this Friday night. Of course, Brody Smith, the big lineman at Bearden, who has a Tennessee offer, he had a hairline fracture, I think they said. I think he's going to be out again. Maryville playing a freshman quarterback. It's lost its top running back for the season, I think. We'll see if Gage Ledoux can return at some point, maybe late in the year. So, interesting matchup here. Bearden going to have to be a little bit more creative on offense than they were a week ago against Farragut to get that win at Maryville. And then finally, big game out of the area over in the Mid-State, Catholic at Montgomery Bell Academy. One of the storied programs in Division II AAA will host the Fighting Irish, who are looking for yet another win in this division to kind of prove its worth. NBA got smoked a week ago, thrown all over, run all over, and we know Catholic can run the football. So look for Catholic to win on the road in Nashville this Friday night. All right, let's catch another break here on the walkthrough presented by Coker Rental. When we come back, we're going to look at area stat leaders. We're going to look at an unbelievable video that you're going to want to see. Stick around right here. So much more to get to on the walkthrough.
Endless hold times and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact who is just a phone call away doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back to the walkthrough presented by Coker Rentals, rentcoker.com. Hey, I want to, at the midpoint of the season, kind of give a shout out to some of the statistical leaders in the area. Every week on 5-Star Preps, we do weekly stat reports. And somewhere around 60 schools, 55 to 60 schools send in their cumulative stats for the season, and we type them all out, put them in order to see just who's winning the race in rushing yards, passing yards, tackles galore. Let's highlight a few of those guys through week 6. Tegan Avera, running back, Gatlinburg-Pittman, already with 1,117 yards, and he is second in total rushing touchdowns with 12. Nick Moog has come back off the injured list from Anderson County. He leads the area with 13 rushing touchdowns. Isaiah Hall, quarterback, Anderson County, almost at 2,000 yards already this year, just through 6 games. He leads all quarterbacks with 1,833 yards, but he does not lead in total touchdown passes. That honor goes to Jack Wagner, quarterback, senior at Webskull in Knoxville, and Summers up there at Oakdale, having a fantastic year with 19 passing touchdowns. Cooney at Oakdale has the lead in receiving yards with 767. You got Xavier James from Anderson County right behind him with 699. And let's keep scrolling down. Touchdown passes. You got Cooney again from Oakdale, 11 receptions for touchdowns, along with Whitman Whaley from Gatlinburg-Pittman. On to defensive side, you got Joyce from Cosby, 89 tackles. Cooper Cameron from Webb, 81 tackles. Our leading guy for tackles for loss, Evan Poticher from Northview Academy, 20 tackles for loss already this year. We knew he was going to be good, but we didn't know he was going to be that good. And Charvon Thomas from Powell, 8 sacks this year. He leads the area in sacks. And then Bryson Hedrick, I believe, from Sevier County, 7 interceptions already this year through week 6. Touchback, you got Conan Littlefield from Kingston with 20. Punting, you got Mason Phillips, the quarterback up there, Northview's top punter, 11 attempts, averaging 48 yards per punt. Unbelievable. And Conan Littlefield, I always struggle saying that, 42 kicking points to lead the area. You will have full list of all of our leaders. We don't just list the top 1 or 2 guys. We'll go 20 to 30 deep in as many categories as we can find. So make sure you're looking at that. And definitely appreciate Todd Henderson from Carriage Hill Insurance and Management for supporting us in promoting those statistical leaders. All right. I mentioned at the top of the show that Sam Scott put together an unbelievable video that you need to see. It's from the Powell and Halls game. And look, I know if you're not a Powell guy or a Halls guy, you probably don't want to watch it, but I encourage you to do so. Stick around for the next few minutes and watch this film that he put together. It just perfectly encaptures what the Battle of Emory Road is.
The 5-Star Preps Play of the Week is brought to you by Smart Bank. Play smart. Bank smart. Smart Bank. For more information, visit smartbank.com.
Endless hold times and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact who is just a phone call away doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
All right, you made it. It's the final segment of the show. Thank you for joining us tonight on the walkthrough presented by Coker Rentals. Again, contractors in the area, check them out. RentCoker.com. They have scissor lifts, dumpsters, skid steers, loaders, so much more that you'll need for your project. RentCoker.com. Final segment means one thing. We put up the Waffle House logo. It's time to see who's going to eat in week 7. We do a thing every week on Instagram. Everybody joins in. They drop their player prediction. We'll scroll down, read a few of the best that were nominated. Of course, around these parts, we always start off with our guy, Bennett Campbell, up there at Anderson County. They played Thursday night, but we always know Bennett Campbell eats. He's always going to eat. Bronson Scrivener, quarterback, Loudon. We'll talk about him in a minute. Big game coming up against Kingston. They're going to need him. His teammate, Kelso, nominated him on Instagram just the other night. Guy Roberts 12 says Landis Davila. We talked about how important that Farragut game is against Bradley Central. Landis Davila needs to go off. Ready for him to commit too, baseball wise. Remember, he was a Virginia Tech baseball commitment, an All-American this past year. Now waiting to see kind of where he lands baseball wise. Could it be Tennessee? We've heard some things. We'll see. I am Doc Clovis says Boski, Gregory Tate, and at _8 SZL, whatever. That's Brandon Winton. A lot of the web and former web players are going to eat, according to I am Clovis. Our guy Blake Carter says Cruz Cunningham. We'll see about that. As always, Will Spill, number 1. He's always up for nomination on our Instagram. We got another vote for Landis Davila. We had some punters and kickers nominated this week, which I love because we have some of the best punters and kickers in the state this week. We had Bearden's punter nominated. I'm trying to find the guy who nominated him. We'll find that in a minute, but FMB CEO says at Devin Jamison. That's a running back from West High School. He's going to need to eat this Friday night against Alcoa. Let's get a couple more. You got Ethan _Farhat says at Landon Collins. Landon Collins plays for Farragut. Again, big game coming up with him against Boo Carter and Bradley Central. More Cruz Cunninghams. This dude nominated like 5,000 people. Can't do that. I can't read out all those guys. We got some nominations for Alcoa players. Riley Spoden 16 says Willie Joe. That is Alcoa defensive lineman Joe McCord, I believe. Yep, Joe McCord. You got Eli Owens nominated as well, and Alcoa's quarterback. So many of you guys respond. Check them out, 5starpreps.com or on Instagram.com/5starpreps. You look for our Who's Gonna Eat Waffle House post there, and you'll see more than 100 nominated players on that little post. So thank you guys for all you do for participating in that each and every week. I know some of you do it as a joke. I get a laugh out of the few of the people on there, but we love it all the same. Time for our predictions. We're not doing player predictions. We're doing game predictions. Last night we had Anderson County in that game against Clinton. We'll see how we do this Friday night, though. Alcoa 20, West 10. That's our official prediction. Still don't know if Marshawn Bowers is going to play in this game. If he doesn't, I think that gives Alcoa the edge, the nod here from us, just because of what Marshawn Bowers means to them in this kind of game. Bearden at Maryville. We like Maryville to win this football game 24-14. We think Bearden's defense can give them some trouble a little bit, get after freshman quarterback Will Jones a little bit as well. But Bearden, what they showed offensively last week, if they do that again, if they try to do that again against Maryville, it's not going to work. It barely worked against Farragut. This Maryville defense is in a much better position to stop that than Farragut was a week ago. Jefferson County 28, Morristown West 21. The Patriots continue their winning ways in this series against a big rival in Morristown West. Jefferson County's won the last 2 games, and this rivalry, the last 4 or 5 meetings, has all been decided by a score or lower, 8 points or fewer, and we're going to go 28-21 to kind of continue that trend. Loudon and Kingston. Bronson Scribner, who I mentioned a minute ago, has thrown the ball really effectively to complement Loudon's run game. Kingston, though, barely throws the football. I think Loudon gets prepared for that. They know what to expect. They're going to read their defensive keys, really keen in and zone in on Kane Ladd, the running back from Kingston. And I think Bronson Scribner, the quarterback for Loudon, is the key to this game. And then finally, our final prediction, Oak Ridge 28, Central 14. Central quietly going about its business this year. Again, 4-2, having a nice start to the year. Oak Ridge, though, climbed that hurdle against Clinton last week without its head coach. They get Derek Rang back. I think everything is kind of status quo again. They go and get that win. All right, last thing we do on the show, let's take a peek into next week. Week 8, we get West High School at Anderson County. Defending state champions going at it. Cleveland, really good this year. Really, really good. Coming to Knoxville to face Bearden in a key region game. Oak Ridge at Farragut, old school rivalry there. Not really a region game, but a fun matchup. Northview Academy, still undefeated going into week 7. Will they still be undefeated next week when they go up to Elizabethton, who's also off to an undefeated start? Carter at Gibbs, really nice Knox County rivalry there. South Doyle at Halls could be a sneaky good game, as I like to say. Clinton at Lenoir City, really key region game there. Central at Powell is on the docket for next week, and Morristown West at Sevier County. So last week, this week, next week, schedule gods are really giving it to us. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight on the walkthrough presented by Coker Rentals. Make sure you're logging on to 5starpreps.com tonight. We'll have coverage from all these games that we talked about, photo galleries, videos, so much more as we prepare you for this final stretch of the high school season. I'm Jesse Smithey. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll talk to you next week.
Welcome to the 5-Star Preps Walkthrough. Powered by Coker Rental Company. The walkthrough delivers important pregame news, breakdowns of the week's biggest matchups, and more from the teams and players you spend your fall Friday nights cheering for.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Now, Join us as our host, Jesse Smithey, and the rest of the 5-Star Preps team deliver the most comprehensive high school football coverage in East Tennessee. It's time for the 5-Star Preps Walkthrough.